Good Saturday morning. How are you doing? Welcome to another edition of XFeed. Today we are going over NBA Top Shot. Of all things, the marketplace is looking like it's heating up a little bit, or do we even call NBA Top Shot a marketplace? Marketplace, application, platform. Pick whatever terminology you want. We're going to go over a Web3 gaming studio that completely shut down and seems to have gotten a weird reaction from people, which maybe shouldn't be that weird, but we've been talking a lot about things struggling within the space, questions around funding, questions around the viability of almost everything, and we keep seeing everybody scream that it is supposed to be the gaming bull run. Has that happened? Maybe for 1 or 2 games, but otherwise, let's get into it. Island Boy, good friggin' morning. How are we doing, boss? All right. We brought this up the other day, and apologies for not doing the stream yesterday, but we're doing the makeup stream today. Uniswap just added a fiat off-ramp. And I think this is really big. And I'm curious if this is geographically restricted in any sort of way. Gary Doge, GM. Powered by Moonpay, Robinhood, and Transact. But the point with all of this is, what does this have as a ramification for different exchanges? Everybody's familiar with Coinbase. Everybody has, whatever country you're in, your various local exchanges, but when you're able to do so directly off of here, what does that open up for? Yo, Seg what's going on, Ivar? Hope you're doing well. And this is a serious question, because does this kind of allow for the first time an opportunity where you don't have all this other middlemen, these parties? What does the fees look like amongst all of this? Because that's a question. And I mean, we kind of have that with royalties for NFTs, but it's different with crypto for all these on-ramps. Some exchanges charge a lot, and some of them even have it where when you go into it, you can have a pro trader, which actually has a little bit lesser fees, or one that just trades automatically. And some of them try to make their site where it's almost confusing, where you want to go through just the automatic one to get charged more, because the pro's not as smooth on the UX. Now, I don't know if that's deliberate or if people are poorly hired for some of these positions. I don't know. Shout out to AGM. We got the Bored Ape 3D file, and they brightened it up a little bit. It was a little bit too dark. It was like the later Harry Potters versus the earlier ones. You know what I'm saying? We had to lighten things up a little bit. So shout out AGM. Andrea Maeli, which we have interviewed. If you guys aren't familiar with the BZ platform, I'm forgetting what the hell was the name of BZ before that it changed? I wonder if they have it on the name there. Live on Flow. Damn it. I'm trying to remember. They had a really funky name before, and it was it didn't even sound like it was Web3 oriented, but I actually have an interview with Andrea from a while ago on the RWA Segments podcast. Would love for you guys to go check that out again in the description below. But it's crazy how much the class of 20 and 21 were onboarded through NBA Top Shot. Now, for anybody that hasn't relived the NBA Top Shot days, back in the day, we streamed every day for 7 to 8 hours a day. We were doing some crazy shenanigans. We got into pack drops. We had a delay for hours while things were just not working because the demand was insane. And these LaMelo Ball moments, at a point, they were going for $10, $25, and then they started going all the way up for $700. And this was the entire platform. A lot of questions around, all right, this is LaMelo's first moment. We're talking about LaMelo Ball, and you have an assist that's barely even an assist. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? What are we doing? But if you haven't seen, the Top Shot marketplace is actually starting to have a little bit of action again. And it's funny because every single year we have a lot of people that stuck with Top Shot that are on the timeline saying, yo, this is the year for NBA Top Shot. And we have the questions of all right, is it going to be a single application that takes over? Is it going to be based on a broader market scope? But 218,000 sales on February 26th. On the 25th, 110,000. And then the few days before that, way lesser. Yo, Aries Swan, what are we doing, brother? What are we doing? How we doing? So is NBA Top Shot back? That is the question. Advantage, what's going on? Guys, we are live over on Abstract as well. Hope you're doing well. Advantage. Okay. So let's stay on this NBA Top Shot news for a second. Physical collectibles this time. The jersey Victor Wembanyama swapped with the fan in December sold at auction for $73,000. So if you haven't seen, basically, there was a parent that took their kid to a game and they did a jersey swap. And of course, Wembanyama is like 7 foot plus whatever, and the kid's like 2 feet. So it's hilarious. And then, of course, parents like, oh, we can make $73,000 off of it. So they sold. It got absolutely shredded online, right? Now the family is trying to reverse the sale, but it's already been shipped to the winning bidder. Auction house Golden responded saying the child's father is experiencing seller's remorse. It's just weird to think. You have this photo, this is cool as hell, and then you're like, yeah, we're just going to sell it. Nah, that's tragic. Vermonti, missing the days when you would grab an NFT asset and hundreds of community members would welcome you, share their NFT, make gifts, etc. Which NFT communities are still doing this? Well, first of all, I mean, hundreds of community members. Listen, when you're looking out on the space right now, it's kind of thinning out depending on what communities you're looking at. I think that there's still a huge spot where there's a need for people to be able to connect. However, similar to crypto tokens as a whole, as there was like 8 million of them created on pump.fun, there is a ton of NFT communities. Some of them are cooking, some of them are on pause, some of them are trying to figure out what they're doing, some of them are going to change the world, right? So we have all this kind of happenings. Well, it also feels like there's not a whole bunch of new people entering the space. We changed the narrative almost in a way where it feels like people are saying, oh yeah, like in meme coins, there's a whole bunch of like retail that got involved with that. And it's funny because on a couple conversations, because, you know, it's very hard to converse with people and like for myself, not bring up, yo, yeah, you know, like I'm in the Web3 world. You know, it doesn't happen that I can avoid that conversation. So somebody talked to me the other day and they're like, yo, do you know XLM? You know, the crypto XLM. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, and you know XRP? And I was like, yeah, both of them start with X. And I was like, the X, man. All right, bad joke. But the point being is they were asking, saying, oh, you know, like I've been like pairing at the charts and like XLM is going the same way of XRP. And I think that this one's a smaller market cap, so it could be more. And I'm like, okay, like your thought process isn't necessarily wrong, but you know, you're going to end up turning into somebody who's really like bullish and trying to vie for XLM. And that's what's going to be, you know, I don't think I use the term personality, but I'll use that in this context right now. And he was like, whoa, hold on. Like, I'm just asking about it. I'm like, well, no, because what happens is people enter the space, they find something they're interested in, and then they just go all out for it. And that's fine, right? Like, I mean, I talk about what I'm very passionate about as well. We try to have like a broader scope. But I mean, if you follow people within the space at all, a lot of them, right, they are kind of covering like a wide net. Well, you'll also have people that are focused on a very huge niche, and you're probably going to look at the people that cover everything and be like, okay, that's kind of cool. But the people that talk about specifically what you're interested in, you find way more interesting. You'll probably engage with all their posts and all that kind of stuff. And oh my goodness, Advantage coming through with a whole 14 Pengu. Sheesh, 0.32672. Incredible. Thank you so much. All right, let's continue. This week, the SEC ended investigations into the following crypto companies. Monday, it was Robinhood. Tuesday, Uniswap. Wednesday, Gemini. Thursday, Consensus. Friday, this was, I think, the Richard Hart. And then there was Coinbase that was also dropped within that. So Friday, there was a few different ones. But everything seems to be completely dropped over on the SEC, so there's not that much of a concern. OCD made me put all those decimals. Listen, hey, respect. Also, it's cool. I don't know if you guys can you can't see on the screen, but like there's, when I look on my abstract tab, there's like a 1 next to it when I get like message now, because it doesn't show up on like my stream thing here. Like I'll show you guys what I look at. So this is what I see. So we got Island Boy, we got Gary Doge, Ivar, Ari Swan, yo, you friggin' beauties. But it doesn't, even though it's in the multi-stream, for whatever reason, the abstract doesn't pick up with it. So that's what I see. Anyway, let's continue. So look at this. World depiction by year. So in 2030, hope you're sitting down for this one, integrated into most digital services. Virtual assistants in homes and workplaces, potentially reducing manual tasks. Cities with smart infrastructure such as AI-managed traffic systems. 2035, delivering critical services, healthcare with personalized diagnostics, education with adaptive learning, potentially leading to a more interconnected global society. And this is all about AI. And in 2040, heavy reliance on AI for decision making globally, reshaping economies from autonomous vehicles to AI driven governance. So this is a weird conversation because we can make a lot of arguments for different things, right? So let's use the AI-driven cars. I mean, we've seen humans make horrible decisions, driving when they shouldn't, causing accidents, whatever. Or driving when it's not safe and they're not accustomed to that. Maybe it's dark, they can't see, whatever. And I also would be interested to see like how that works with like AI, because I feel like that would be even harder to see. Well, I mean, I guess it'd be difficult for both. But either way, it's a weird conversation to begin with, right? But everything else, like how big is this AI realm? People are pushing this narrative around it, but I mean, we can type things in ChatGPT, we can try to put prompts on things, but they're still not having the greatest outputs that we would want. So when we're looking at these wild terminologies, thoughts of, AI decision making globally, is that just like what it is everywhere? There's certain hotels you go to and there's nobody even at the front desk. You just have like some chatbot you talk to, type in your card, whatever, and then you're good to go. It's crazy to think about. Can AI unload my dishwasher, please and thank you? Hell yeah. I mean, for that, you need like a system set up. But do they have it where apartment buildings or something, it's like laundry chutes, but now you like throw your dishes down and it does it all automatically? That would be, that's maybe a little far-fetched. Punk 9059, guys, 8 million meme coins launched in the past year, literally because everyone knew that meme coins weren't considered securities. This is non-news. So the other day, there was the news that, meme coins aren't generally considered meme coins in like an official way. And people on the timeline were celebrating, but it is kind of true. It's like, yeah, I mean, people aren't going to go through and make all that stuff if they thought they were going to go to jail for any reason. You know what I mean? Like that seems like a little bit obvious on that front. Gang token. Guys, I have not seen anything. I have not seen anything about Gutter Cat Gang in a while, but I guess we got some gang allocation going over to Quirkies. Interesting time for these NFT collections to launch tokens of various sorts. We're crashing. Shit. Hold on. Let's look. Bitcoin. I'm getting baited. Yo, damn me. Going over to ETH. Is it okay? Listen, ETH is not having as good of a day as Bitcoin. Holy smokes. Bitcoin is crashing at 82,000. We dreamed of this day years ago. It's funny when we just like stop for a second and look at the perspective, right? It's a little bit about the POV, if you will. Everyone was like 50 and 60,000. We're like, man, that was higher. That'd be sweet. Hits 100, goes down from 100, around 80. We're like, oh my God, we're going to zero. When not that long ago, we had a different perspective. Okay, now, are you this sold? The mint price was 2.45 Bitcoin each for the 12-fold collection out of Yuga. My next job is an NPC on TikTok. That's retirement right there. Stick with that for a year. Yo, Jeremy, retired. Last sale, 0.13 Bitcoin. So this was a collection that came out from Yuga Labs around its hype. We can have a lot of discussions around Yuga potentially extracting certain things. I have no idea why they were selling for this high. I think that Bitcoin wasn't the price that it is, obviously, right? Like, when we look at the perspective, if we're saying 2.45 Bitcoin, if that was like $30,000 a Bitcoin, okay, so move ahead a little bit. And dollar value wise, it still might be similar, except for the fact that the last sale was 0.13. So it's really not because it hasn't held up, but just trying to consider the mint price a little bit. But to the title of the stream, are people going back to what they actually like? Because there's a ton of speculation, right? You don't buy a Yuga asset for 2.45 Bitcoin, no matter the price of Bitcoin, without thinking, this is going to hold its weight in value. Or the demand around ordinals at the time was as big as it is. But are we going back to a point where people like what they're buying? It's not based off the speculation. Are things getting repriced? Because we've talked about the stream a lot, and I keep bringing it up. how there was a conversation around, is $22 for a video game skin too expensive? Everybody said it is. So why are we charging so much for things such as this? Now, a little bit different, but still, it's a digital good. Okay, so Michael Saylor on the dip is saying, sell a kidney if you must, but keep the Bitcoin. So people are cooking him for this take. I mean, it's funny. No matter what, I mean, listen, the bulls got to be bulls, right? If anyone is curious how bad the evil Ponzi is going, I'm still making $2,100 a day playing on-chain heroes. So people are cooking within the Web3 gaming space. But it does feel like we have a game that's hot, and then it's not. You know, it's like a Katy Perry song. And so the question is, how hot can on-chain heroes stay if people are making $2,100 a day? And I'm assuming it's more than just a singular person. Because holy smokes. Also, this is crazy. Toronto man's out here. This guy's throwing some salt on the car to, I think, get it out of the snowbank. It's just crazy. Listen, if we were out there, would love to help shovel. But I don't know if, like, less than an ounce or whatever of salt is going to do much over here on that big snowbank. My goodness. Hey, guys, keep an eye out for fake meme coin, says Ronaldinho. Oh, my Lord. With my name around here, remember that I don't have any official tokens yet. For the entire crypto community, stay tuned because very soon we'll have big news here. This is awkward to look at because almost every single celebrity meme coin has been an abundant failure, which we're aware of. And then people say, "Oh, these people are extracting." I'm like, well, people are gambling on thinking that something is going to work. Now, the other aspect of this that's kind of a really big negative for the entire industry is we say, you know, we like somebody, right? Like if you have a show that you watch, let's use Michael Scott from The Office, right? What the hell is Michael Scott's name? I'm forgetting. Michael Scott actor. Steve Carell. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Steve Carell. You know exactly who I'm talking about, right? So if Steve Carell is like, yo, I want to launch a meme coin or make money off of my likeness or something and not have to do it through a middleman of some sort, right? Where it's experiences, it's whatever. I think generally speaking, we're sort of open to that. But then this kind of stuff happens and it just completely goes by the wayside. It doesn't give anything credence. And you're like, all right, so are these people just horrible financially and they've blown their money and they're living a really big lifestyle? Are they trying to stay relevant? What are the questions around all this kind of shenanigans? New Grayscale Smart Contract Fund gives highest weight to Sol. Yo, we got any Solana bulls in the house. So Solana weighted at 31.3%. Ethereum, 31.22, Cardano, 18, Avalanche at 7, Sui, 6, Near, basically 3, and then Polkadot, 2.5. Okay, cool. It doesn't really do anything for me, right? But cool to see that we have some of these funds really picking on some of the top players. The question with this, though, is arguably we say, like, all right, so Sol and ETH is like for sure. These other ones, like, all right, they got decent market caps, but are they going to get that market attention? What's going to happen on that front? All right, this is a weird one for you. So Valeria Games, 220,000 followers on X. 220,000 followers on X, all right? So this is where we bring up the questions of, all right, are these people botting? Is there actually that many people that are interested? Is this, you know, faking some numbers to make it seem like they have that to be able to raise more money? What's the questions? Hey everyone, this is a tough message to write, but unfortunately our team has run out of funds and will be suspending development and support for both our mobile game and TCG. We started Antebellum Games, now Valeria Games, 3 years ago with a big vision and a small budget, and I'm incredibly proud of what we built together. Seeing so many of you stick with us from the early days until now means more than I can put into words. We set out to do something that had never been done in Web3 gaming, and we did. We launched something truly unique, something that wouldn't have been possible without your support. I don't actually know what these guys have done, so we're going to look at their page. For now, we'll be keeping the game live a little longer while we search for investors or potential buyers. If we find the right partner to help bring our vision to the mobile game and TCG to life, we'll do everything we can to make it happen, but as it stands, plans for the LOVTGE are on hold indefinitely. So that's interesting. They didn't go through with their TGE. This has truly been a passion project for me and the entire team. We can't thank you enough for being part of this journey with us, for your support, etc. And then they have like this video of being like at an event. And I don't think these events are like cheap to go to. And that's why, you know, part of me is like a little critical when teams spend a whole bunch of time going to a lot of events, doing these big announcements, going for stage time. Like, if it's not costing you a whole bunch, all right, sure. But I think these Web3 ones are rather expensive. And to get like an extra 20 players, you know, is it worth it from that perspective? Okay, so what the hell actually is this game that has 200,000 plus followers, at least on X? So they have a marketplace, they have different collections, they got a website. We'll go to the website. Land Before the War, play now. We have the Blue Eyes White Dragon kind of deal, but instead it's like a gold Charizard looking thing with slightly different tone on the skin. Shared campaign for LOV, earn shards, unique crafts, claim card. So I guess this is a card game? I mean, I can't even tell what it is right at the rip. Webcomic, so they have a webcomic. They have partners and investors, Mochaverse, The Plague, Pixelmon, Overlord, Ogaverse, the Habibs, Undead Black. I mean, these things have like partners with everybody. And it's like, all right. So I guess that means nothing. Or was money poorly spent? These are the questions that we have to have with it. Yo! OX, thank you so much for the Tupengo. Absolute legend on the house. True! Breaking, White House to host first ever crypto summit on March 4th. I don't know if I should be concerned about this or not. So the White House announced today that President Trump will host deliver remarks at the first ever White House Crypto Summit on Friday, March 7th. Attendees will include prominent founders, CEO, and investors from the crypto industry, as well as members of the President's Working Group on Digital Assets. The summit will be chaired by the White House AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, and administered by Working Group's Executive Director, Bo Hines. Previously, President Trump promised to be America's first crypto president, and his Week 1 Executive Order 14178, he declared that the policy of my administration is to support the responsible growth and use of digital assets across all sectors of the economy. After the previous administration unfairly prosecuted the digital asset space, President Trump's policy vision represents a new era for digital financial technology. The administration is committed to proving a clear regulatory framework, enabling innovation and protecting economic liberty. Okay. So, I mean, let's see what this is, I guess. I don't really have any extra thoughts with it. I mean, there's a lot of concern around just the markets as a whole. Is that going to be impacted around this? Are we going to have volatility? Is this going to be kind of like that press conference they did where they were like, hey, this is the golden age of crypto. And then the market's absolutely tanked. Remember when they said that like 2 weeks ago? Down only since then. Unbelievable. Okay, so this person is just absolutely shredded on Web3. So if you're feeling in a good mood and you don't want some absolute depression in your life, don't skip this part, maybe pause it, come back in a little bit. But let's go through this and I don't know, maybe react, because I mean this is a wild one. So shitty things that I've learned about this industry working full time and being at ETH Denver. So what does ETH Denver particularly have to do with this? Like, was there an interaction that happened there where they're like, all right, these people are all fishy? Why is ETH Denver getting some not so good spotlight on this one? So everyone is trying to dump on everyone. Okay, fair. Everyone is scamming. So sad, but very true. I think that a lot of people want to have this sense of hope within Web3, and it gives them that. It also gives them community. There's a lot of different components to it. But I mean, when we say like everyone is scamming, I think everyone has ideas, but they don't like, there's a lot of people that want to be an entrepreneur of sorts that are able to do so because Web3 opens up realms and they've had a lot of connections, but then they realize, whoa, this is a lot more to handle than what you could think. And so things go sideways. But all right, a lot of founders and VCs do over-the-counter deals more than you realize. I'm not really familiar with that, but okay. Community is exit liquidity. So when you look at me and I'm community, am I the extra liquidity? Nah, I mean, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. It's getting boring. I mean, yeah. So this is a question around like all the gaming narrative, right? Like everybody's screaming that it's like the gaming bull run. You have like a couple games that are good, but otherwise it's marketplaces looking at things, right? Even NBA Top Shot, they touted about how they were going to have a game, and I mean, I've been really into NBA this year compared to most years, and I've not thought like, oh yeah, like I want to jump back into Top Shot because of it. It's like, okay, cool, these are digital moments and whatnot, but the game and other stuff, they have prizes. You can kind of like set up series for game. Like, I don't know. It doesn't have the same pizzazz that we originally thought originally. And that could just be us becoming boomers. True. Same dApps. Yep. Every single chain has basically the same thing. Only a few, maybe 20% of real people. Yo, listen, Jeremy's real. Gary Doge is real. Harry Swan is real. Ivar's real. Gary Doge. I mean, I just said that, but we got twice in there. Yo, we got Island Boy. Detroit basketball. What an unbelievable game last night. Drew, yo, X4 to Bengo OX1 coming through. Yo, hold on. I already said the OX1. You guys are crazy. Some folks are real cypherpunk and embody ideologies of ETH, Bitcoin, Sol. Too many dudes in our industry. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. But I don't know if that's a bad thing. Some communities are not that inclusive at all as they portray. This is a weird one because when you say like, all right, is somebody inclusive? Like, when you join a Discord, the person that was like, I miss joining the Discord, a whole bunch of people saying, yo, like, welcome to the club, whatever. Like, you have to remember, people join something, they're like, hey, do I connect with this? Do I actually like this? Am I just buying this off of speculation reasons? I think it's a trust issue. When we say, like, inclusive, I think it's more of a trust thing overall. Never believe what people are saying on crypto Twitter. There's no great AI agent or AI use case. 10 other categorical use cases. I would kind of agree that there's a lot of people that say, oh yeah, these things are amazing. This is going to be good. Have we seen it in action? Not as much. We're not planning for mass adoption anymore. It's 10 years far, maybe more. So this is weird, where we could maybe argue that is the mass adoption not people, but the AI agents that are seemingly popping up everywhere, that we're watching, governments say, hey, this is what the projection is for AI integration within everyday life. Because if it's that perspective of mass adoption of AI infrastructure on blockchain, that's where we get spicy. Because 10 years is like kind of crazy when we think about how long or how many hours we spend a day online to begin with, on our phone, whatever. We're always consuming digital media, just what it is. All of crypto is less than 100,000 people, and there are very less monthly active users. Yeah, we're part of the 100K. True. The on-chain builders and users get screwed the most. Wow. I mean, yeah, fair, but there's also, there's been a lot of great stories coming out of Web3. Like, I mean, that feels like it's very focused on the positive. Think of how many good things have come out. Think of the Uniswap founder the other day when he was talking about the airdrop, right? When Kaido was getting like fudded to the ground, right? And the Uniswap founder said, when we did the token for Uniswap, people were messaging me saying they were able to help pay bills. They bought wedding rings. They were able to even buy houses over certain stuff. And that was amazing. You're like, damn, that's some really good stories. And then you read this and you're like, wait, what? It's over. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But here's some positivity for you. Punk 8868 sold for 288 ETH, 644,000 American dollars. Probably like $1 million Canadian. Crazy. I feel like this sold the other day as well. Unbelievable. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Once again, if you guys are wanting some more content, would love for you guys to check out the channel, or if you're on YouTube, down in the description below, if you check out the RWA Segments podcast, I've retweeted a whole bunch of stuff on my X page as well. If you're on there, thank you so much for coming on through. Going back over to the abstract side, again, Advantage, thank you, OX1, OX4, hell yeah, Harry Swan, Yo Jeremy, Gary Doge, Ivar, Island Boy, I'm an Island Boy. Unbelievable. All right. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. Peace.